guess first off, I know I kind of touched on it last week, but those slow starts are continuing to bite you. It seems like in the second half, you guys have been even or better the past 3 games in your opponent. How much do those slow starts detract from just the overall play?
Well, it doesn't help for sure. We need to start faster if we want to be really successful. Now, in fact, that was one of the things that we talked about a lot last week, that we needed to have a fast start. Fortunately, we didn't get it, and it hurt us, because we had some opportunities early. And that's something that is just so important in college football, because such a big part of college football is when you get momentum. And if you can get momentum early and get the team on their heels early and make them, as players on the other side, start guessing and wondering if their game plan is what it needed to be, that's an important aspect. And so in order for us to really advance the way we want to, we need to start faster every game.
What's the key to that? Is there anything you're particularly emphasizing to get that fast start this week?
Well, we talk about it, and we start practice every day with what we call winning edge period, which is just starting something fast, so high level, high motor, high intensity. Those are the kind of things that need to carry over into the game. A lot of it is emphasis, and a lot of it is on players and coaches just, really, really taking ownership that we have to start this thing fast and play with an edge. And I think like you watch a boxing match and boxers fill each other out for those first couple of rounds. I don't think you can do that in football. I think you need to take the action of the game to the opponent right away and not try to fill people out, so to speak. So I think that's a big thing, just mentality. Let's not try to fill it out. Let's just go. Let's go play and not think about everything that's in front of us.
What do you know about Crookston, Coach? You've had a couple days to look at film and probably had scouted them earlier in the year, but what do they bring to the table? Like, what can you, from a defensive standpoint, or offensively, what can you exploit?
Well, for us defensively, building on the last couple of weeks where we played pretty good football, I think the kids defensively are starting to play with more confidence, which is a big thing. Crookston has had an uneven year, similar to ours, in all honesty, and so for us, that fast start that we had just talked about is really important. That we get out early, we put pressure on their quarterback, we put pressure on their people up front, and if we can do that, I think that can really set the tone for us throughout the course of the game.
Moving the ball, do you feel you can throw and run on them, or call some areas you can move it?
Yeah, I think one thing that we feel comfortable with as the season's gone on, and I don't know, to be honest with you, Mike, if I felt comfortable with this early on, is just the identity of our offense in terms of the personnel. I feel like at this stage of the year, I feel very good about who's in the lineup, who's in the game. I think we've got the right people in the right spots, and so we'll use their skill sets. The guys that are sitting here with me, Jarvis's running ability, Leon, that short intermediate pass game that he does so well with. We have some speed to take the top off of a defense, and now it's just a matter of just tying it all together and executing, particularly to start the game.
Tyler, you talk about execution. Sometimes we overanalyze the defense you're going up against. Really comes down to what you guys are doing execution-wise and doing what you need to do to move the football.
Right, and the teams that you're up against, there's great competition, and they all have great players, and so week to week you're getting a similar look from them. So you're spot on. It's about our execution. It's about our practice and preparation and performance level, and that's where our focus always needs to be. So we do corrections on Sunday evening after a game. We don't look at it like, here's all these great things that this other team did, even though they might have done so. What we're looking at is how can we get better, how can we improve, and that's really where our focus needs to be, and that's where it's been all year. And we've gotten better that way, but we still have some ways to go.
Speaking of execution, either Jarvis or Leon, how do you guys get more out of opportunities in the red zone? 1, 2 for 4 in the last game. How do you make sure you guys improve upon that?
We don't shoot ourselves in the foot. We've done a good job, especially in the last couple of weeks. We've moved the ball well, and we've gotten down in the red zone, and then we just haven't executed as an offense. We've either done something, we've gotten ourselves a penalty, we've gone backwards, we've done anything except continue to push forward. So that's just on players, on ourselves, as we have to go out there and execute the call, and we have to understand what's going on. Even there's a couple of times that we had positive plays and they came back. I think we had a ton of offsides and holding penalties in the game, so we just ended up shooting ourselves in the foot. So we just have to understand that we're just playing against Crookston. We have to stop playing against ourselves at the same time.
And Tyler, Jarvis, I know the running game hasn't really been quite established much, with the exception of that final drive against Mary, where you guys were able to put the ball on the ground pretty well. How do you kind of get that rolling in the right direction here midway through the season?
Well, I'll answer just that a little bit, and then I'll pass over to Jarvis too. I think the running game has always been really important to me, and I've been frustrated as anybody that hasn't been as strong as what we've needed it to be. And we've had some injuries up front. We've had some injuries in the backfield. We've just had a variety of things that have just kind of kept us out of rhythm, so to speak, as the season's gone on. And so I really feel like right now, I feel like we've finally got some of those things solidified and stabilized. Jarvis here will get a lot of action this week, and I'm excited about that for his opportunity. And part of it is, you want to balance in your offense, so you got to complete the ball down the field, and if you do that, that opens up running lanes. And then you get a few run plays, they start playing, the run tighter, and then you can put the ball down the field. And so we just need good balance on both sides of the ball to help that running game get moving.
Yeah, the offensive line, with him, like Coach said, being injuries, everybody is not used to playing with each other, so it's been a little difficult up front. But as time goes on, they're getting better and getting used to it. So this week, I think it'll be pretty much better. It'll be a pretty good game on the ground.
Do you feel just pretty healthy at this point now?
Yeah, I feel pretty healthy. My foot's feeling a lot better. I feel like I'm 100%.
Coach, you talked about quick starts, like in the game. How about like on each possession, trying to get that short down and distance, like that 2nd and 4, that short yards? How important is that to try to be successful on your first downs and try to get you in a short yard situation?
Well, so on my play call sheet, I've got a section of plays for what we call normal down and distance. So that's 1st and 2nd down, and I've got however many plays, 15, 16 different plays for that particular situation. And then we have an area we call off schedule, and that's when we get into that 2nd and long. And we only have 3 or 4 of those. So the idea there is obviously we don't want to be in that situation. We hope not to be in that situation. And you'd expect reasonably not to be in that situation very often. Last week in particular, we were in that situation far too often. And so that first down play coming off the sideline is a real important play to get us some type of momentum in that possession. And if we're 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, then we're behind the chains right from the beginning. And you just can't win consistently if you're always behind the chains. And we were behind those chains quite often against Bemidji. And so yes, that first down play, that's what we worked on yesterday in practice, was all first down stuff. I think we had a really good practice yesterday offensively. So in my mind, that would bode well for Saturday, and I think it will.
Dan, you had a couple touchdowns there in that second half against Mary. When you guys started out so quickly after halftime, is there any sense of difference in the team, or what's different in those situations where you're coming out hot out of the gates of that half as opposed to the first half of that game?
I think the best thing was we got in rhythm. I think the first touchdown, it re-energized the whole team. And I think for the first time all season, that was the time when from top to bottom, you looked across the sideline, everyone was having fun, everyone was in the game, and we got the crowd involved with it, and then we just kept building off of that momentum and playing through it. And I think for the first time all year, we had that spark of energy, and that's something that needs to be consistent all throughout the entire thing, from not just games, but from practice all the way through the week. And I think right now this team struggles with understanding the importance of every single play. And I mean, part of it is because they're young, there's a lot of inexperienced guys, the unfamiliarity, but by this time in the season, that's not acceptable. So people need to understand and be excited from the beginning of the game all the way to the end. It has to mean something to them. And I think a lot of people, it hasn't meant enough to them so far. So they have to find the passion and want to be out there to enjoy the game. And then the momentum and the fun comes after all that.